The next day, as early as the day before, Aladdin and number 39's mother went to the palace, but to no avail. She found the gate closed and inquired and learned that the court only held trials every 2 days, so she had to return the next day. She brought back the news and advised her son to be more patient. She went to the palace 6 times on the specified days to no avail, and perhaps she would return hundreds of other times to no avail if the king always saw her in front of him but did not pay attention to her. That was very likely to happen because only those who sued approached the king one by one to present their statements, and Aladdin and number 39's mother was not in that case. At the end of that day, after returning from the court to the palace, the king said to the prime minister, "These past few days I have seen a woman coming regularly to my trials, carrying something wrapped in cloth and standing before me. From beginning to end of the session. Khan, do you know what she proposed?" The prime minister did not know anything better than the king. He replied, "Your Majesty, women often complain about trivial matters. This lady probably came to report to His Majesty that people sold her bad flour or something similar that was insignificant." The king was not satisfied with that answer and said, "The gathering day is coming. If she comes again, please call me back so I can hear what in number 39's going on." The prime minister lowered his hand and raised it above his head to show that if he forgot about it, he would ask to be beheaded. Aladdin and number 39's mother was used to coming to the trial in front of the king, no matter how hard she traveled to reassure her son. On the day of the court, she came to stand before the king as usual. The vizier had not yet presented any lawsuit when the king saw Aladdin and number 39's mother. Touched by the patient waiting he witnessed, he told the prime minister, "Before everything, lest you forget, that is the woman I was talking about. Call her up. We will begin to listen and explain. The decision brought her here." The prime minister signaled his entourage to lead her to the king. Aladdin and number 39's mother followed the example of many people who came to present to the king, kneeling down and pressing her forehead against the carpet covering the throne steps, maintaining that position until the king gave the order to get up. She stood up. The king asked her, "Good woman, I have seen you come here many times and stand at the door from the beginning to the end of the trial. What is it that you have to come here for?" Aladdin and number 39's mother heard the question, knelt down a second time, then stood up and said, "King of all kings in the world, before presenting to you the unusual and even unbelievable problem that has brought me before the throne." He wisely asked God to forgive his audacity for daring to speak brazenly. "That was so unusual that it made me tremble in fear and shame." Letting her speak for herself, the king ordered everyone to go out and left him and the prime minister alone, then told her to speak without fear. Aladdin and number 39's mother was not only assured of the king and number 39's kindness in exempting her from having to speak in front of everyone, she also wanted the king not to be angry when he heard her beg for something he did not expect. She said again, "Your Majesty, I dare to ask you to agree to forgive and grant me grace if you see that my request has aspects that offend or displease you." "No matter what happens," the king said. "From now on I forgive you, nothing will harm you. Come on, speak boldly." When Aladdin and number 39's mother was wary of the king and number 39's anger when he heard her unreasonable proposal, she honestly recounted the case of Aladdin seeing Princess Bedrouthoudor, the intense love that arose from the meeting of destiny. There, the words he said to her and what she did to make him give up his disrespectful infatuation with the princess. She continued to explain, "My son, instead of listening to advice and realizing his own hubris, was so stubborn and passionate that he threatened me with desperate actions if I refused to come and ask for your prayers. Kissed the princess, and after pushing me too hard I was forced to please her. I once again beg the king to forgive not only me but also my son Aladdin for having the bold idea of hoping to rise to such a noble endeavor." The king was very gentle and kind, so he listened to the entire presentation without showing any sign of anger, nor did he joke about the request. Before answering the woman, he asked her what she was carrying wrapped in cloth. She immediately took the porcelain vase and placed it at the foot of the throne before kneeling down, opening it and presenting it to the king. It is impossible to describe the king and number 39's surprise and strangeness when he saw in the vase so many precious stones, perfect, shiny and of such a large size that he had never seen before. He stared blankly for a moment, then calmly accepted the gift from Aladdin and number 39's mother, exclaiming happily, "Wow! So beautiful! Too much!" After looking at and shuffling each stone, evaluating each stone for its special features, he turned back to the Prime Minister and pointed to the vase. "Look, I must admit that nothing in this world is rich and perfect. Better than that." The Prime Minister praised him. The king continued, "How? What do Khan say about a gift like that? Is it really worthy of the princess, my daughter, and with that price, I can marry the princess to the suitor?" Those words confused the Prime Minister. Not long ago, he learned that the king intended to marry the princess to one of his sons. He was afraid, not without foundation, that the king and number 39's eyes would change because of such a rich and strange gift. He approached the king and whispered in his ear, "Your Majesty, it cannot be denied that the gift is truly worthy of the princess. But I beg your Majesty to wait 3 more months to decide. I hope that during that time my son, whom your Majesty has had the heart to look up to, will have something more valuable than Aladdin and number 39's gift that you do not yet know about." Although the king was certain that the Prime Minister could not find such a valuable gift for his son to give to the princess, he still listened and gave him the favor. He turned to Aladdin and number 39's mother and said, "Okay, good mother. Go home and tell your son how pleased you are with his offer, but I cannot marry you without making you a castle ready in 3 months. So she will return here within that time limit." Aladdin and number 39's mother went home with even greater joy because, given her circumstances, at first she thought she could not go in to meet the king, but she received such a good answer, instead of being humiliated and dismissed. Seeing his mother enter the house, Aladdin noticed 2 things. 1, she came home earlier than usual, and the other, her expression was open and happy. He asked, "How are you, mother? Can I hope or must I die of disappointment?" She took off her veil, asked her son to sit with her on the sofa and said, "Son, so that you Don and number 39's have to wonder too much, I will say that it will be a long time before you have to think about death. You still have something to do. To hope." She recounted how she was allowed to meet in front of everyone by the king so she could return early today, how to guard against the king and number 39's anger, the marriage proposal to Princess Badrul Baudour and the agreeable answer from the king and number 39's mouth. She further told how the king and number 39's gestures influenced by the gift brought about a favorable answer. She also said, "I and number 39 am still a little worried because the Prime Minister whispered something in the king and number 39's ear. I and number 39 am afraid he will make the king change his mind." When Aladdin heard the news, he thought he was the happiest person in the world. He thanked his mother for working hard to pursue this, and the good results were very important to his life. Although he longed to have the object of his passion, 3 months seemed like an eternity to him, so he patiently waited based on the king and number 39's promise, which he considered indisputable. While he counted each hour, each day, each week, when 2 months had passed, one evening his mother wanted to light the lamp, realized there was no more oil in the house. She went out to the street to buy it, and saw it everywhere, glowing like a holiday. The shops are wide open, decorated with flowers and bright lights, trying to make them look splendid and beautiful. People were bustling with fun. The streets were congested with officials dressed in holiday clothes riding beautifully saddled horses, dragging a large number of servants back and forth. She asked the oil seller why there was such a scene. This man said, "Where are you from?" "Don and number 39. You know that tonight the Prime Minister and number 39's son is marrying the king and number 39's daughter, Princess Badrul Baudour." She was about to finish bathing and the other mandarins gathered to accompany her back to the palace for the wedding ceremony. Aladdin and number 39's mother did not want to hear any more. She rushed home out of breath, found her son and told him the unexpected news. "My child," she said, "your work is ruined. I believe in the king and number 39's beautiful promise, it and number 39's nothing." Aladdin was panicked about that news. "Mother, where did the king not keep his promise to me?" "How do you know? Tonight the Prime Minister and number 39's son will marry Princess Badrul Baudour in the royal palace." She told her child that she knew that and that the scenes that were taking place could not be wrong. Hearing the news, Aladdin stood still as if struck by lightning. Someone else would have collapsed immediately, but a secret jealousy kept him from standing still for long. At that moment he remembered that the lamp had been very useful to him so far. Without getting angry in vain towards the king, the Prime Minister or the Prime Minister and number 39's son, he just said to his mother, "Mother, the Prime Minister and number 39's son will not as happy as he wanted tonight. While you go into your room for a while, Mom, go ahead and prepare dinner." Aladdin and number 39's mother understood that her son wanted to use the lamp to prevent, if possible, destroy the wedding of the Prime Minister and number 39's son to the princess. She was not wrong. Go into Aladdin and number 39's room and get the magic lamp to avoid scaring his mother when he sees the genie appear. He rubbed the lamp in the same place as before. The god appeared immediately and said to Aladdin, "What do you want?" "I am ready to follow orders as his slave and those who have the lamp in their hands, so am I and the other slaves of the lamp. Listen, up until now I have brought me food when needed, now there is a completely different important matter. I proposed to Princess Badrul Baudour, the king and number 39's daughter, and he promised me in marriage and promised to marry her in 3 months. Instead of keeping his promise, tonight he married the princess to the Prime Minister and number 39's son. I just received the news and it is certain. What I suggest to the genie is that as soon as the newlyweds go to bed, he brings them and their bed here. Boss, I obey. Do you have anything else to order? Not now, Aladdin replied. At the same time the god disappeared. Aladdin went out to eat with his mother, still calm as usual. After the meal, he talked for a while about the princess and number 39's wedding as if he didn't and #39 care anymore, then went into his room so his mother could go to bed. He did not sleep, waiting for the genie to carry out his order and return. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.